There's a specific kind of alone that happens with other people in the room. You're at the table. Everyone's talking, somebody laughs, and part of you is standing outside all of it, watching through glass. You go home and you don't tell anyone. Because, how do you say it? I was with people, and I was still alone, and you've decided that says something about you. Why do you feel lonely around people? Start with the thing that makes no sense about it. Loneliness has almost nothing to do with how many people are around you. There are people with two close friends who feel held. There are people who spend every evening in company and go to bed feeling like nobody actually knows them. Researchers separate these two things and they behave like different animals. Being alone, which is a fact you can count, and feeling alone, which is something else entirely. And you can keep adding people forever, and the feeling doesn't move. So what is the feeling for? Picture one of your ancestors cut off from the group, sleeping alone on open ground. No one watching while she sleeps. No one to share food with. No one to fight beside. For most of human history, that wasn't loneliness. That was a countdown. So a signal evolved. The psychologist John Cacioppo spent decades arguing that loneliness works like hunger or thirst. It isn't a personality trait and it isn't a weakness. It's an alarm. Hunger says the body is running out of fuel. Thirst says water. Loneliness says you are dangerously far from other people, do something about it, and it isn't polite about it, it gets into the body. Watch the sleep of someone who feels lonely and you'll find it broken up in a particular way. Not less sleep overall, more micro-awakenings. Little surfacings through the night, over and over, the pattern of an animal that can't fully drop its guard because nobody else is on watch. They usually don't know they're doing it, they just say they don't sleep well. That's how deep this goes. The feeling you filed under, I'm bad at people, is running your nervous system at night. Fine. But that still doesn't explain the table. If the alarm exists to push you back toward people, why does it go off hardest when you're sitting right among them? Here's where it gets strange. Put faces on a screen. Angry ones, friendly ones, blank ones. Measure how fast people pick out the hostile face in the crowd. People who feel lonely find it faster. Their attention goes to rejection, disapproval, and coldness before it goes anywhere else, and it stays there longer. Give them a neutral face, a face doing nothing at all, and they'll read it as colder than everyone else reads it. Give them a story about a group, and afterwards, they'll remember the parts about being excluded more accurately than the parts about being included. The loneliness isn't just sitting inside them feeling bad. It's editing what they see. So walk into that room again with this running. You arrive already scanning for evidence you're not wanted. And a room full of people always contains that evidence because it contains everything. Someone glances away. A conversation closes up as you approach. Somebody doesn't ask you a question back. In any ordinary evening, these mean nothing. Through an alarm that's already going off, they're all confirmations. And then you do the small thing. You get a little quieter, you don't tell the story you were going to tell. You leave 20 minutes earlier and you don't text the next day. Nobody notices you protecting yourself, they notice you seem distant. So they give you a bit less next time. And that lands on you as proof you were right about the whole thing. That's the part that hurts. Loneliness doesn't just make you feel unwanted, it quietly makes you slightly harder to reach, and then hands you the result as evidence. And here's what's actually going on underneath. Every other alarm your body has points you straight at the answer. When you're hungry, food looks better. Genuinely better, sharper, more appetizing. Hunger doesn't make bread look poisonous. Loneliness does exactly that. The one signal built to push you back toward people is the one signal that makes people look dangerous. It shows you a room of possible rejection and tells you to go and get closer. It's an alarm with its wires crossed, screaming at you to run toward the thing it has just made frightening, which is why it seals itself shut. Hunger ends when you eat. Loneliness makes eating look risky. And you don't experience any of this as an alarm going off. You experience it as a plain fact about yourself. I'm awkward. I'm too much. People don't really warm to me. It doesn't arrive as a feeling you could be wrong about. It arrives as the truth, finally admitted. Think about what that means for an ordinary evening. You leave a party convinced you were boring, and what you actually remember is the 4 seconds someone looked past you, not the 20 minutes someone leaned in. You read a short reply from a friend as coldness. You decide not to reach out to someone because you're sure they'd rather you didn't, and they never find out you thought about them at all. None of that is a report on how much people want you around. It's a report from a system that's been running hot too long. So the next time you're in a room full of people and something in you steps outside it, know what you're actually looking at. Not proof about you. An old alarm doing its job badly on a species that spent 100,000 years unable to survive alone. And it's louder than the room. It always sounds more like the truth than the people sitting right in front of you.